Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to Press for Truth TV. Today is Wednesday, May the 23rd, 2012. And today we're joined on the line by Eric Bouthillette, who's out of Montreal. And Eric's really been on the front lines of these protests for the last 100 days or so. So thanks so much for joining us once again here at pressfortruth.tv.
But thanks for having me on, and thanks for breaking my freedom of speech. Today it's an illegal interview we're having.
Ah, yes. Well, I guess we're going to break the law today by talking about some of these things, the new bills. One thing I wanted to also get into with you is this new video that just recently came out where a bus full of protesters was surrounded by cop cars and everyone was detained, ID'd, and searched and kind of held in this freakish kind of Minority Report pre-crime kind of scenario. But before we get into that, a lot of people have heard about this new bill, Bill 78, which was passed on Friday. But for anybody who might not know too much about the bill, why don't you break it down for us? What is this bill all about, and how do the people of Quebec feel about it?
But technically speaking, for the American audience, it's your worst nightmare of your freedom of speech being broken apart. So that's exactly how I can define it. For the rest of the world, seriously, with the amount of fines they're giving us, I think we can pay the debt of Canada in 2 months. If everybody get fines, if we're doing protests, it's like if you are part of a protest that is considered illegal, so that means basically everything is illegal. It's $1,000 fine. I got people just got $650 fines for being there. So it doesn't say if there's criminal charge over that. You cannot talk about Bill 78. It's illegal. Anyway, we're in civil disobedience. We're not even activists anymore. We're just a resistance from now on. You can have fines if you organize a protest up to $125,000 if you don't give direction of where you're going to walk. According to freedom of speech, they're not necessarily obliged to give your direction where you're going if you walk with a protest. And it's still according to your freedom of speech. You can still do demonstration anytime, anywhere, for any reason, as long as it makes sense and it's peaceful. So you can't be, you can't have not have 50 people together. It's considered illegal assembly. Even
Is that unless you notify them 8 hours before? Is that how it works?
not even not even if you're just 50 people in the same area. If you wear a little square like that, got people got fined $250 for that. It's called pushing people to violence. But well, we're just gonna wear it, huh? We're all violent. So it goes on like that, as deep as it's like the law has to be amplified by the provincial police. So it's the SQ is here. So the Montreal police now is run by the provincial police. We're not getting far from a martial law if we can agree on that. And I sent you a picture, I think, yes, 2 days ago about an undercover guy who was doing provocateur agent stuff, was throwing rocks, totally going after police, throwing bottles. There's witnesses who saw the guy doing it, and there's people who went deeper into who's the guy and who was his name and blah, 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 blah. So went on with the investigation. He ended up being a guy in a platoon from the Canadian Army. What is the whole story? I don't know all of it, but that's what came out. So
So you guys, you noticed somebody engaging, provocateuring people into acts of violence, throwing rocks and so forth, and you found out he's a military man?
yep.
Well, that's unbelievable, man. Yeah, I mean, it's not too unbelievable, I should say. Canadians, the Canadian government has been caught red-handed doing things like that before. But I guess the bottom line is they need to somehow discredit the thousands and thousands of legitimate protesters out there. You mentioned people are getting fines just from wearing a simple red square. How about
Yep.
the ban on masks and hoodies and bandanas and stuff? Has that stopped anyone from wearing any masks?
But I'm just going to give you an example. I got people who get arrested 45 seconds after using a megaphone in London. But in Montreal, the walk, as soon as you put your first feet in the street, there's always somebody with a bandana. So it always become illegal assembly. But we don't care. So we keep walking. So by the time we're walking, shooting at us with rubber bullet. We're still walking doing demonstration. We're yelling slogan. They're shooting gases. They're charging us. They're injuring people. We got cars. I sent you a video today on your wall. Cars that runs over people in the crowd. Yeah, and last night, two cars at the same time at two different places ran people over. I don't know, but I'm not fool. No, I don't think things just happen like that. And the people who run people over, they do know that you don't just run into a crowd. I've never seen that in my life. I think it's provoked, it's created, it's all set up somewhere. If you look at the police itself, they run a guy over his skull. We're not even sure if he's dead or not. So things are getting so crazy violent last night. We walk on St. Catherine. As soon as we got on St. Catherine, they charged us like hell. They were just charging us like it was a football game. We don't have equipment. We just have bandana on our face. I got a cam on my other end, and the only thing they can do is beat up people, throw gas, mass arrest. Today was the 100th day of strike that turned into a social battle now against the government and the system. And if you look at it, we have over 2,000 people got arrested for whatever reason. As much as if it's for a criminal charge, it's for fines. Damn, man, seriously, do we need 2,000 people, injured people, head trauma, we have people between life and death, and it starts to look like what Egypt looks like, and Greece, and people
right.
were and people were not here. It's easy to say, oh, but no, it's not too bad. Da, da, da. Come here. It's like every night almost. It's not a riot against stores or any places. People don't attack any property, cars, or anything like that. It's really a battle, people versus the police. That's all. There's nothing get destroyed around that. Sorry, that's an important to mention too. That people are not doing riots. We're fighting. That's all.
Yeah, when the fascist police state shows its might and backs people up into a corner, people have no option but to react and to protect themselves. Often, I've seen clips coming out over the last few days of some riot police there and frontline police just pepper spraying innocent people who are just standing there, quite literally doing nothing. There was a one clip where I guess there was a small scuffle at a little bar where a bunch of people were sitting on a
Yeah.
patio, and the cop just barreled in there and started flipping tables and pepper sprayed everybody. Did you see that clip?
But that one, I saw it. I was there actually. I was on Saint Denis, and the SQ was there. They were boxing the place a little bit like they used to do at Toronto. And unfortunately, we got lucky. There's one person. I think it's like three apartment building. Opened their door to 200 people to go through their houses to get up by the back door. So there's 200 people run by there. There's a lady, I want to thank her, like, thank you very much for taking me into your apartment because everybody was getting arrested. So I was able to film from a third floor. And I got so much footage. Now I'm trying to do a documentary out of it because seriously, it's just too much stuff. And there's already a lot of video running on. But as for that, seriously, thanks for everyone who helped the comrade on the field because seriously, we see there's a big human connections getting back with the whole society, and I think Quebec is rising up like never before, and it's beautiful to see. I've never seen that.
Absolutely. These kind of scenarios and situations brings out humanity, brings out the best in people.
Yep.
When protesters and total strangers on the street can work together, join together, and help each other during these crazy times. Now, it was just a few days ago with this bus that was pulled over, and I'm going to put a link to this incredible video in the description. But the whole thing is in French, so a lot of people in the rest of Canada and the US are not entirely sure with everything that's being said in the video. So can you break it down a little bit for us? What was the scenario there going on that bus?
Okay, that was a bus that left Montreal. I'm not too sure the hour it left. It was going to Sainte-Thérèse at Lionel Groux College, CEGEP. And for any reason, they got stopped. I'm not too sure which city before they reached their destination. And for any reason, there was six car police that just came, two on both sides and one in the back, one in the front. They closed the highway 15 to escort them at the next provincial police station. And when they got over there, nobody told them they were under arrest. They were just keep coming in the bus to tell them they were detained just for X reason. And on the bus, I had a friend of mine, Patrick Scott. He's a member of ODPP, and it's about political prisoners. And he was gave them, I think, a political course 101 of their freedom of speech, and the charge were on pre-crime because they were going to disturb the peace. So nobody received a fine. They were just escorted back to Montreal. But that goes with before the bill, because the same thing happened to us when we came back from Victoriaville on May 4th. They stopped us on the highway. They went to some buses. They brought them at the police station. So it gets to a point that where the hell is freedom of speech stopped? That was before Bill 78. Now the bill is in it, so that if you're more than 50 people in the bus, it's illegal, and whatever you do, you're a bunch of red squares, it's illegal, even if you don't know nobody. So it gets to a point that Russia are fighting the same type of bill, but they have still more freedom than here in Quebec. It looks crazy for people who don't understand what's happening, but you can't talk about that Bill 78. You don't have the right to talk about it. You cannot do any protests about anything for no reason. You need to give your destination before, and the police, because in the end, it's them who judge if you do or not your stuff. They're the one who decides of everything. So it's like the government gives us power to the police. And it's not just the Montreal police, it's the provincial police who takes all that power. So it gets to a point, it's one dude who decides of everything. And Michel Courchain and Jean Charest were passing a bill too during that bill to give her full power of the parliament in one person. So that what we call that a dictatorship now.
It's
She
just,
can't
yeah.
she can't rule the parliament alone.
We're just seeing such a fundamental, just violation of fundamental basic privacy rights, the right, freedom of speech, freedom of
Yeah.
assembly, the right to travel, the right to be able to go to a protest. All these things were violated. And I'm glad that a lot of people on that particular bus immediately pulled out their video cameras and began filming the whole situation, because we need to hold our police accountable for these types of actions when they violate our rights. And it's
Yeah.
always good to document these things on camera. The camera doesn't lie. The truth comes through video. So you have to hold on to that footage, because maybe these police officers, somewhere down the line, sometimes it takes months, sometimes it takes years, like in the case with the G20 here. A lot of top
Yeah.
officers are now being charged for the misconduct that they did. So I'm glad everyone was filming there, because we need to hold those police accountable, because they completely violated the rights of people in Montreal who were on their way to protest, which they should have a right to do.
We should, but we don't have. According to the bill, now it's in place. So technically speaking, we don't have any more rights anymore. So now we're fighting against it. So that's why I told everyone here, I said, we're not activists. We just turned into a resistance. And it sounds it's coming out of Hollywood. I just can't believe I'm saying that today. I said that a year ago to a few friends of mine. I said, it looks like we're going to end up in a revolution. Revolution, my friend. This is what
Yep.
we're doing here, and it's total police state. We're living the Toronto situation like 24/7.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So what's next for the revolution? What's next for the people of Quebec and the students? I'm sure that the demonstrations are going to continue in the face of these new bills and laws. Are there more demonstrations planned in the next coming days and weeks? What can we expect out of Quebec in the next few days and weeks?
Every night at 8:30. I'm not supposed to say that, but I call everyone to do civil disobedience. Go at the Emily Gamelin Park at Berucam. You need to fight. It's not just your tuition. Now it's freedom of speech. It's have a right for everyone. And I push people to watch the Berkeley School story. Back in the 60s, they were having the same issues in the United States. Berkeley is a left-wing school, and they had to fight for their right, and they had to go to martial law. And because of them, it's the anti-war movement that was built against Vietnam. So here in Montreal, we were fighting tuition. Now it's civil rights and civil liberty. So it gets to a point that there's a big parallel that looks like identically the same. So I think it will be important to people maybe to take a look at that, and it's the same,
Yeah,
almost same story.
that's right. That's a good idea. You know, we have to look in the past in order to understand what's happening now, and we can see how people's rights are taken away, and this could be potentially leading towards a martial law type scenario in Quebec. So we're definitely going to keep an eye on this one in the coming days. And again, man, I want to thank you so much for being on the front lines, documenting everything. Why don't you tell everybody once more what your YouTube channel is, so people can find out more from you? We're all looking forward to seeing some of your footage.
But the YouTube channel is called The Verbal Militia, all together one word, or you can look on it as The Love Police Montreal. But I got a good question for you before we leave. Anyone in Canada heard Harper being against the Bill 78?
Is he
That
against it? Not that I know of. No, I would be highly surprised if he is.
Harper's receiving a right-wing extreme courses by Jean Charest at the moment, and that's scary because Charest wants to become the Canadian Prime Minister one day. I think everybody in Canada needs to put that in their agenda, man, because if that guy passed one day, Canada might just turn out into a police state 24/7. Anyway.
Absolutely. Well, we're pretty much there already by the looks of things going on out there in Quebec. So once again, man, thanks so much for joining us today.
Okay.
Yep, and I'll be putting links to your videos in the description, and we'll have you on again sometime in the future. Thanks again, man.
And please, guys, donate to Dan. He needs to go at Occupy Bilderberg, man. We need real people like him over there.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you again soon.
Okay. Take care, man.
Take care.